Hey folks, welcome to GameSpot Studios. I'm your host, Chris Waters. This is also your host, Shaun McInnes, and it's time for some Civilization Beyond Earth. We're going to be live streaming it, taking a look at two different civs. The first is Shaun's robot empire, and then the next will be my alien-hugging, peaceful kingdom of happiness and joy.
That's correct. So when you say robot empire, obviously you're referring
I meant
to...
cold, heartless, demon robot empire.
Let's use the official terminology, which is supremacy. That's the pathway that I've chosen. Supremacy is all about transcending the mortal shackles of the organic being in order to become a better, faster, stronger robotic humanoid. So it's about embracing things like cybernetic upgrades, nanotechnology, that kind of like moral quandary of what makes a man a man. I'm basically creating like just an entire civilization full of Adam Jensens. And as you can see, I have chosen the Brasilia faction.
Sure. So does that, the faction decisions, like basically folks, as you can see, we're in turn like 192 right now, so we're pretty well into the mid-game. We'll reference stuff that we sort of worked out in the early parts of the game, the early exploratory turns and stuff. And one of the things you do is you have to make a couple choices when you land on the new planet, and one is which corporation or which faction you're going to be, and they each have little bonuses. There's no like faction-specific units in this traditional civilization way. That stuff is more dependent on your affinity. Affinity is, just a quick briefer for you guys, no, like you see Shaun's mousing over it in the top left. There are three affinities: supremacy, harmony, and purity. Supremacy is the one Shaun just talked about. Harmony is the one we'll see later, in which which I chose, which is like you want to, learn from the alien life and sort of meld with them and become a whole new species. And then purity is the like, to hell with future robots, to hell with these freaky aliens. Earth we did it right the first time, so we're gonna make this planet into Earth.
Yeah, you're basically you're terraforming the whole place, you're clear cutting everything, you're saying goodbye to the aliens, and you're basically wiping out like all these foreign species.
Yeah, and like you can see there are forests. Can we zoom in on the terrain a little bit?
Yeah.
Like these are forests, and they function, they'll give you a production, they'll give you a food, but these are like weird alien ferns or like dangle trees. I don't know. How would you describe those?
I think you hit the nail on the head with dangle trees.
Dangle trees? Yeah. See, when you're colonizing a new world, it's really important to,
go ahead and get started.
Make up names. Yeah. So what are you doing right now? What's your civ status?
So this press build that we have, it's got a 250 turn maximum. And right now I'm at about turn 190. I actually played all the way to completion. I'm just kind of going back and loading up a previous save file. So this was the point where I had 4 cities built up.
You got a nice little coverage here.
Yeah, I had a pretty good sized empire going, and I managed to build up a lot of trading relationships. So I've got a pretty good energy intake. Energy is basically like it's the currency of the game almost.
Yeah.
You need to maintain energy in order to like maintain a strong army, because units take energy.
Yeah, certainly there's the maintenance
such.
costs,
Yeah.
the cost of buildings, and then you can use energy to buy units as well.
So I kind of realized that I wasn't going to get to the victory state within the next 60 turns. The supremacy victory state, just to brief you guys, is really cool. You basically build what's called an emancipation gate, and that is a gate.
It's a real good euphemism.
You build this gate, you contact Earth, and you tell them, hey guys, we're coming back, and we're going to take your asses over.
We're gonna listen, all you fleshy meatbag humans, like, we're super robot men now. Don't you want to be like that? Sorry, that's not a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question. You're going to be like that.
Yeah.
And the victory states are an interesting thing to sort of talk about because they're handled a little bit differently in Beyond Earth. So, Shaun, you're gonna be moving your units in here, but so the victory state, like for example, the Emancipation Gate, you not only do you have to research technology to, unlock it. But you also have to build a unit or build a structure on a tile next to one of your cities called the Emancipation Gate. It's a physical thing that exists on one of the hexes outside of your cities, which makes it vulnerable to anybody who thinks that your ideas for the future are totally effed. But then once you've built that, you actually have to build a bunch of military units and send them to that portal and send them off to Earth. So you actually have to produce that army, and like the combat strength of the units you send through fills up a meter, and once you hit the certain bar, boom, you did it. That's supremacy. We can talk a little bit more about the harmony situation later when we take a look at mine. So yeah, so these just look like some foot soldiers, and are they basically at this point?
I mean, these are Marines. These are the kind of upgraded version of the initial foot soldiers that you get at the beginning of the game. I just began production on the Cinder troops.
Okay.
Which I'll show you.
So this is a look at the tech web, and you start in the middle and you sort of go out. You have to research stuff like pioneering in the center is you have to research that to build a colonist. Planetary survey, you can research that to embark units, but that happens like really quickly, so exploration actually happens at a much faster pace and is a little bit more important because you can, instead of just like clearing barbarian encampments and getting gold, the aliens are tougher, but the rewards are better in terms of resources, in terms of items that you can recover.
Yeah. So since robotics are pretty important to the supremacy pathway, actually pretty critical to the supremacy pathway, I unlocked the robotics element of the tech web. And within that section, you unlock tactical robotics, which grants you the Cinder troop. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
CNDR.
Yeah, totally.
And this is a unit that is unique to the supremacy pathway. It's a limited but reliable robotic drone soldier, simple, hardy defensive melee unit. So, it's not a nuke. It's not going to win you the game instantly, but what I like about them is that they can take a lot of damage and they have high range, which makes them much more useful.
When you say high, what do you mean high range?
I mean, they can move
Their movement speed is?
With the Marines here, it's...
Well, you only have one left, because Marine you moved it one.
Yeah, you're right.
But the Cinder,
Cinder can move a little bit farther at a time.
Cool.
I'm not sure what the actual number is.
Well, we'll find out.
I'm going to go ahead and just...
But you saw that that unit required a level 4 in supremacy, and so that's through different actions you take and different stuff you research in the game, you will level up your affinity levels, and it's tracked in the top left corner, of the screen. And you don't have to choose one. You can spread things around a little bit, but unless you choose to like knock out a few supremacy techs, you're probably not going to, by turn 200, be deploying unique supremacy units into battle.
Yeah.
If you sort of spread it around a little bit. Then again, who knows what the other benefits of taking other tech paths will be. That's the kind of thing that is really tough to sort of gauge in a preview kind of situation, or even after just one game. What kind of flexibility you have within the different affinities, because there's obvious benefits to sort of mainlining one and getting the benefits of leveling up your affinity, because they are myriad. Like, not only does it allow special units like the Cinder, it also will allow you to upgrade your existing units, and so that's kind of the way that Civ Beyond Earth handles the like spearmen to pikemen to musketmen, like that. Instead of researching the tech for a new unit, you start with gunners, and those are your soldiers with guns. And then you get a few levels in your affinity, and you can upgrade your unit. So now all your gunners are gone. They're replaced by Marines, and so they upgrade a little bit more. They gain bonuses to their stats, and you have a chance to choose a specific kind of unit upgrade.
No, I don't think it doesn't go gunners to Marines.
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Gunners, are those the ranged ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so
gunners start as. Do they start as gunners?
It might just be soldiers or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you have two different. Because there you have the Marines, and then in front of them, is that a gunner?
Yeah.
Okay,
So these are the guns. So basically, I think I kind of trailed off earlier, but I realized that I wasn't going to get to my supremacy victory, so I decided, hey, the Pan-Asian Cooperative is down here. I'm just going to take them out because I want to accomplish something before I hit that 250 turn cap on this build. So I figured these guys made the critical error of being the closest faction to me. So I'm going to take those.
What a bad mistake
what
that
a
was.
bad mistake. So when I was playing it, I actually managed to take them out pretty easily.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but we're going to try it again. So my gunners have taken a little bit of damage from a previous scuffle, so I'm going to have them fortify right here.
Just outside of that green, you see that green cloud stuff? That's the miasma, of course. That's this unique thing to Civ Beyond Earth, that it exists on tiles. It damages your units maybe 5 or 10 HP per turn that they end their turn on it. But if you go the Harmony Affinity, you can like upgrade your units to heal from miasma, which is great. And then you can I didn't actually affect this scenario, but like you could put a satellite into orbit, pump down miasma onto your opponent's territory, and then just roll in. So can you imagine, like, all of a sudden, like, this faction declares war on you, those alien lovers from up the way, and all of a sudden the skies are just like this poison fog comes down over your city, and then they like march over the hills with their alien buddies. We'll see the alien buddies later.
Yeah, we'll see them. So right now I'm trying to build up a few more gunners before I start taking out this city, because in traditional Civilization style, you do need ranged attacks to siege a city, because otherwise you're just going to get clobbered.
Yeah, you want to bring your full might. Look, Polystralia guy.
Sure.
Hutama.
Sure,
let's be friends. You're not anywhere really near me.
You are irrelevant to me. I'm going to placate you for the time being. Have you wait. So with my armor, which is kind of my exploration vehicle unit.
Yeah, they're like they upgrade from combat rovers. They're fast.
Yeah, they're fast. Pretty decent strength. Basically, I'm just scouting around here because down in this area is a pretty happening alien hotspot. So I want to make sure that like a siege worm doesn't show up out of nowhere and just demolish my troops when I'm trying to take out Niet Tin over here.
Oh, the siege worm is so nasty. So there's 2 units as part of the aliens that are like boss aliens, and one of them is a siege worm, which is kind of like the Dune worm from Arrakis, and then the other is the Kraken, which is basically like this floating mountain tentacled beast, and they have a lot of hit points, and a siege worm can totally like take out a city. It one-shots pretty much any unit, certainly at this point in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to mess around with those.
The siege worm is the single biggest threat you face within the first 10 to 20 turns of the game, because I had one of those guys show up pretty much immediately.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and it was bad.
See, they didn't come and bother me immediately. I mean, I had other alien problems, but I built, because I ended up settling like real close to a nest that I didn't have the force to clear, but I was like, I need to claim this territory. So alien nests will pop up. They're just like barbarian encampments, but the alien forces are much more diverse and deadly than barbarians really ever were in Civ. So you kind of end up coexisting with them a little bit more. So I ended up making these like this ultrasonic fence, which you can see in the menu there. Shaun hasn't built here; he didn't need to, but it keeps aliens 2 hexes away from your city, which, if you're just building up a city, can be pretty helpful, especially if it's an alien country.
So I'm going to give you guys a little look at the unit options that we have here. These are, pretty much the standard early game ones. The colonists are what allow you to venture off and found a new city. Workers, obviously, very critical. Trade vessels, that kind of stuff is pretty standard Civ stuff.
Well, the trade stuff is different. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because that's a pretty interesting system. But yeah, in terms of basic units and stuff.
But some of the more interesting things are like this miasmic repulsor, which is this kind of satellite that you send up into the sky, and it gradually, over a period of 10 turns, starts to dissipate the miasma clouds, which for me, if I'm doing the supremacy route, is pretty critical, because having those things in my backyard is going to limit the opportunities I have to work the terrain.
Yeah, and especially if you look around the city that you're sieging now, there is a bunch of miasma.
Oh yeah, and I have to be really careful.
Yeah.
Of course, wonders are
back
back
as well. What is Master Control?
Master Control. All worker units receive +1 movement. Provides a free network in the city in which it is built. And this, like, if I don't want to build any one thing, obviously I can just commit to getting bonus resources.
Yeah.
But because I am gearing up for battle, I am going to build, I think, another gunner.
Cinders.
Cinder?
Come on, man. We don't need to see those robot dudes.
I've got.
If you have a
cinders
bunch
that are about
going,
3
then
turns
maybe
away.
you want your ranged guys.
Well, I've got a couple gunners. I should have 3 gunners. Oh, and here's some cinders. I'll give you a little look-see at what these dudes are not doing. Hold on.
Excellent.
Choose
Wow, those are
What
quick.
have I done? What have I done here? All right, so I need to choose something in Dorado. I'm gonna build.
There's some. So the tac jet is also there. It's actually a jet. It's a plane, but it doesn't. It can't leave a city. Like it needs to. It can't like go out and fly on a mission and then return to a city like 3 turns later. Mm-hmm. It's only based out of a city or out of a carrier.
Out of a carrier, yeah. And I don't have the option to build carriers yet, so if I built one of those, it would pretty much be defending this home city, which within my 250 turns, none of my cities were attacked by other factions.
Yeah, me neither.
A unit needs. You know what, Marine? You're gonna hold tight.
Just cool it, buddy.
The Marines, the tactic that I used when I was sieging this city, Marines were basically cannon fodder. Like I had my Ranger set up out here, and I was attacking the city, and then I would bring the Marines in to attack melee style, just to draw the aggro from the defensive attack in the city.
Yep.
So they'd go in, attack. The city would attack back, and then I would get them the hell out so they could fortify to heal. That way, they were too distracted to go after the gunners.
The gunners.
It ended up working pretty well.
Do you think we're gonna see it happen?
If I move faster, I feel like I'm going a little slowly.
Well, this has been an introductory second. Let's kick it into gear and crank through some turns. You guys will see some stuff in motion. Also, a reminder that we are taking questions and stuff if you want to ask about this in the GameSpot chat, as well as on twitch.tv/GameSpot, so go ahead and chime in there. If you guys want to know anything, we will do our best to answer. And yeah.
So I'm just going to try to crank through these turns as quickly as I can, just so that we can get into a battle scenario.
So while we're doing that, one thing you are going to see move once Shaun, or you maybe saw a move there. You saw some other. All right. So there's a quest. It just basically you built an observatory. So now it's asking you, should you direct your gaze towards the heavens, or should you look into micro scale stuff and neutrinos and waves? And it's going to give you 2 different benefits: +2 naval movement from observatories, or the other one.
Gotta move quick. We gotta see some action here.
So quests happen all throughout the Civ Beyond Earth experience. Like when you come upon new landmarks in the environment when you're exploring, when you research new technologies, when you build new buildings in your cities.
These are the Cinder troops, by the way. Little robot Cylon guys.
Oh yeah, got little like triangle heads. Let's see him run. Come on.
Oh, they will run as soon as I trigger the next turn.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
Whatever.
no. You just have to move your gunboat.
So this gunboat, it would benefit me more if it was over here, but that's going to take about 19 turns. So I'm just going to put it here in case this guy sends out any melee units. He's just outside of range of the gunboat, so I'm going to... Basically, he's just an insurance measure.
Just going to hang out there.
Yeah. All right, so you chill. This is my gunner traversing by sea, so the gunner is going to... You head over this way. I'll feel comfortable once I have 3 gunners placed outside the city walls, and then I'll start attacking.
All right, zoom in before you do the next turn so we can watch some units move. Go up to your Cinder. Yeah, right there is fine. That should be good. Those guys will maybe move.
Thing is, the camera auto redirects to
happening
shit.
So the quest system is kind of this tool that lets... It's meant to like sort of cultivate your own myth, like to sort of help you tell your story about like the decisions you would have to make if you were. Are the Cavathon protect these soldiers here are not who you're trying to fight, right? These Cavathon Protectorate fools.
Well, this is just the trade route, guys. So
No, those are combat rovers. I think.
These?
Yeah. Look, go over the little hex, the purple and blue hex above them. Their little unit indicator.
Oh, that is a combat rover.
Yeah, so those are from the KP. They're maybe just exploring. I don't know.
I think they're probably just exploring.
Actually, this is an interesting view real quick. Let's just take, because like, you see, all right, here's a farm that it's pretty recognizably a farm. This is like some kind of, oh, I can't, my arm disappeared. But then there's like, there's this float stone. You've got a plantation for tubers and for mushrooms, so you've like basically are growing those. You've got a petroleum field, and you've got a paddock where you have these like little bugs that you're keeping to harvest their resources. But floatstone is one of these. So there's like a couple different tiers of resources, like strategic resources, and then I don't know, just like bonus ones. I'm not sure what the exact terminology is, but you know what I'm saying. Like the ones that like boost food production or production on a specific hex, or the ones that become usable to create units. So that's Feraxite, Xenomass, Floatstone, Titanium, Geothermal, Petroleum, I think are the 6.
Let's see. Oh, these guys are cock blocking me. Sorry, that's not a phrase I should use on the stream. But they're
they're jamming up.
me.
They're jamming up your troop movements.
Yeah, they are.
Clear out, dudes. We got a quick request from K Daichi in the Twitch chat to click on the mini map, the little eyeball.
Oh, this?
Yeah. She wants this. You wanted to see the strategic view, but this is really just. I'm not sure exactly which one of those. So yeah, you've got like different resource icons, yield icons you can bring up, the hex grid, and you can show trade routes. So we'll talk about trade routes in a minute, but yeah, I guess the strategic view you were thinking was not, is maybe different here. All right, we have a bunch of questions. I'll try to take a look at some of these. Folks are curious about how it runs performance-wise.
So we are running on an Alienware X, what was it called? X51s?
XLB 900 XP-G?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we have it, every setting is cranked up, and it's running flawlessly, so it's, no, I don't think you need a super powerful rig to run this.
Nice. Aries42 in the GameSpot chat, curious what the little plus sign left of the icons on the bottom right is. So in the bottom right, you've got your over on the other side of Shaun. You've got the big circle, which is sort of a unit needs orders.
Really wish these guys were not standing here completely
Just
blocked.
friggin' get out of the way. Then you've got the globe, which is diplomacy. You've got the book, which is virtues, which we can take a brief look at. The eyeball and the magnifying glass is covert operations. The triangle is unit upgrades, maybe? Not sure. The compass is, I think, quests. And the satellite shows you the orbital layer. And then the plus gives you a couple other options. It'll show you basically the breakdowns of like economic overview, trade overview, military overview, just those lists that sort of, you know, allow you to get information about your civ's different aspects. So trade. I'm going to talk about trade for a sec, because trade you can, like I think you can set up trade agreements with people.
Sounds about right.
To like give them, you know, give them resources, but to give them the special resources, the ones we talked about before that are actually represented like straight up at the top of the screen. There's 6 little resource things in a row. Shaun only has 4 of them so far. I think you can trade those through diplomacy, but in terms of like, there's this sort of daily trade system, and that's you build a trade depot in your city, you build a trade vessel or a trade convoy to go over land or sea, and then you just once it's built, you choose another city to send it to. It can be your own city, it can be a city from another faction, or it can be one of these standalone stations, which you can actually see if Shaun scrolls down a little bit. The Church of Dawn's Light. That's a standalone station. It's never going to expand. It's only there to be traded with or eliminated if you want to settle there. But these trade routes give you, you give resources to the people you're trading with, you get from the people you're trading with, and they just automatically go for 20 turns. And every turn you get that benefit regardless, I think regardless of how far away they are. So you can trade with someone whose civilization is all the way around the other side of the continent, your boat will just go back and forth. It's vulnerable to attacks, or if you send it through alien country, though there are perks that allow you to make your trade vessels not attacked by aliens. But it ended up being pretty essential for me and my economy, because my energy situation got real bad.
Yeah, mine is actually, I have so many troops now that my energy situation, I'm only at +1, whereas previously I was at what, like +18?
Yeah.
So I might switch production on one of these cities to focus on energy development. There we go. So now I'm back up to +9.
Then again, like, of course, energy has its benefits. Definitely buying units, buying buildings can help accelerate your sort of production. But I also found that, like, I was losing a lot of energy per turn, and it was okay. Like, I handled it, and I handled it by stealing from my other factions. Actually,
I just realized I was making kind of a boner move there. I've been building a bunch of gunners out of force of habit when I probably should have been building artillery, because they're a little bit more focused on taking out cities. But I don't know. I like the kind of versatility of the gunner. So
yeah.
Screw it.
Rolling
the dice
on the Pan-Asian Cooperative.
Cool there. You guys are chilling. My cinder. So I feel like I've got my 3 gunners about to be in place. I've got some cinders, 2 cinders. I got some armor to kind of go in, attack, just draw aggro a little bit, and my marines, which are just cannon fodder. So I feel like we'll probably declare war within the next 2 or 3 turns, and then you guys can see a little bit of combat. Turn-based combat.
All right.
How's our chat room?
Well, Affinities curious about a city-state versus a station. So a city-state, from Civ 5, those things could grow territory, they could produce units, they could improve their areas, you would have relationships with them where you have sort of status. A station has none of that. The only thing that, they don't grow, they don't produce units, they don't have, the only thing they have is, like, you trade with them. So if you've set up a trade route to them, then you can, like, level them up. They'll do, like, tier 2, tier 3, and give you a little bit more. And I think there's some sort of competition element where, like, if your opponents want to trade with them as well. I'm not sure if it's first one there gets it, or exactly how that pans out, but they are, so far the only role they've had for me are trading with the stations. What's the second thing? Oh, sometimes they'll be in quests. They'll be involved in quests, and so actually, maybe some refugees from Shaun's civilization landed on my planet, and I was going for the harmony situation, and I was like, listen, we want to respect these aliens. We want to get in line with their biology. And this station came in, and they were basically cyborgs, and they're like, look, we're cyborgs, we're gonna do our thing here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's cool, guys. And they're like, well, we're gonna do it. And then so my quest became sort of make decisions. Am I gonna allow them to settle? Am I gonna trade with them? And if not, if I want, finally it led me to the point where we had such ideological differences that my quest was to destroy them. Which I didn't do. I actually ended up trading with them and then destroying them later because I wanted to settle where they were.
All right, I think we're just about ready to declare war. I just want to make sure that my troops are positioned in an optimal fashion. Let's see. Gunboat. That gunboat is not going to contribute anything to this fight. I can already tell. Armor, maybe you...
The armor should be on the other side of the gunners. Like, what if it was across the top of your gunners? Because it could zoom in and hit.
I feel like, well, he can't really go through these guys, so I might have to bring him. All right, you're gonna take a little miasma hit. That's okay. You're not gonna die.
Where are the
unless you're
cinders
standing
at,
there.
bro? Get
Cinders over here.
Get those
Bring these guys in
robo
here.
jerks in there. Bring the Cylons.
Marines are just blocking the path. So this is tricky because A, it's a narrow little isthmus, and B, there's some miasma, so I kind of have a funnel of movement to actually get around here, but...
Just take
fine.
the
That's
miasma
fine.
hit. It's
all right, I'm gonna save the game real quick in case something goes horribly awry, PC crashes or something, and I believe I'm gonna do
It's
a
time to
quest
pop
decision.
off.
Free maintenance for networks.
Quest decision. So they give you a little paragraph to read about. Sort of, you've got network links, so it gives you a chance to disseminate knowledge digitally, be it technological or cultural. So you can choose it, technological, free maintenance for networks, which means buildings won't cost energy, or +1 culture. And culture is what gets you to unlock virtues. It's kind of analogous to the policy system from Civ 5, but it's got some tweaks where it's a little more flexible than the policies. It's not like you choose this one, you go down and complete it, and then you choose your next, which is kind of how I did policies. I don't know if you guys spread it around more or not, but this one, it's sort of there are 4 columns. Actually, we just click on the policy thing real quick so I don't have to do it with my hands.
Where's the policy thing?
Down below under Unity's orders. I think it's the book. Yeah, virtues, sorry. So you've got might, prosperity, knowledge, industry, and of course you're going to get bonuses if you go down the line and get a certain amount. Like Shaun already has, across the top actually, by the fist. Shaun already has synergy bonus on might, so he gets +5 strength and range strength for all his units. But if you go across like the Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2 area, so if you mouse over the first, you also have a synergy bonus across the top. If you mouse over just to the right of the Roman numeral, on the left side, right there. So he was able to choose 1 free virtue because he took 5 across the first tier of virtues. And so working your way down through that is pretty neat. There's some pretty powerful stuff in there. Free units to bonuses to production, to attributes for your various units, et cetera, et cetera. So that's virtues. You get it by culture. There are not like a huge amount of buildings that produce culture early on, and that's something that I don't know if you experienced this, Shaun. Actually, do you want to? I want to ask you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
If you want to go, if you want to kick into gear,
I'm going into.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going into gear.
Let's
here.
fight. Let's see some.
Are you close enough to attack this city? Oh, you most certainly are. All right.
All right, zoom in a little bit. Let's see this in action. They set up their tripod guns. They bombard.
Are you close enough? Oh, good. You are too.
Oh yeah. And actually, so this is going well. In a city that I took, I think I had moved my artillery in and I was bombarding them. But I moved one of my artilleries into a forest, and I don't think you can fire out of a forest as artillery. I don't know. I didn't. I was within the right amount of hexes, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing wrong. But we'll take a look at my Civ situation in a little bit.
Down this way. I'm feeling pretty good. This guy does not have any units in the area, so I can kind of bombard the city.
Gunner's taking one on the chin, and so that was why you previously, when you took this city, you liked to have melee units in there.
Yeah, I made the mistake of not bringing the melee units in quickly enough, so he defended.
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, so that's the latest research.
What does that give you? What do you get?
All right, so I get Cell Cradle, which is a thing.
Specialist, and specialist slots are a real important thing right from the beginning. Surveillance web, this has to do with covert ops, which we can talk more about when we check out my game, because I did that much more robustly than Shaun did. And the Markov Eclipse, which is just a cool name for, I'm not exactly sure what.
Military units gain experience 50% fast.
And of course there are Civilopedia entries on all these things, like to and with like backstory, and it's actually, reading the Civilopedia in previous Civs is always interesting, but this is interesting in a different way because it's basically the guys at Firaxis like making stuff up, drawing from sci-fi, extrapolating from current scientific trends and developments to sort of create these techs and these things into the future.
Which one do you think is going to give me the most immediate return?
Tech-wise?
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I would look for a supremacy.
Yeah, because I feel like once I get my affinity up, that'll give me a nice little.
Yeah, so like synthetic thought down there.
So that's 21 turns.
What do you?
I get?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're not going to see this tech research. So, but you like looking at this sort of tech web. You have the main techs, and then what do they call leaf techs, which are the sort of two attached to the main one.
The branch and leaf system, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. And so you can see that it shows you the Civ bonuses you get, the units you unlock, the buildings you unlock, and the affinity bonuses you get. So I definitely spent a lot of time
Oh,
staring
yes.
at that.
Okay, this is nice. This is something that I've always enjoyed about the tactical element of Civ combat. It's the trade-off here. Do I improve their stats, or do I go for the really quick return and just recover 50 HP? And that's obviously something that's been in previous Civ games, but you can see how it's applied here. I'm going to recover HP because we're going to jump over to Chris's save file in a while, and I just want to bombard
You
the
want to
shit
make
out of
sure
the
that
city.
this thing gets worked.
Yeah, I'm going to, don't worry about it.
Because now there's a combat rover right next to you. You
Should probably take these guys out.
probably is the only option.
Although, so if I don't,
You can't attack the city because they're adjacent to you, maybe?
oh yeah.
So it's really your only choice at this
Okay.
point.
So the problem I'm facing now is that the city will recover health with
Yeah.
every turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't keep wearing it down, I'm basically just taking damage to no gain. So obviously this is the more short-term threat, so I'm gonna have to go after them. See how that does.
Hoodooster in the Twitch chat, thanks for that. Forests mess up your range and movement in general. Tip. Yeah, that's sort of what I thought about my artillery situation before. All right, who's it gonna be? Take out that combat rover? Yeah, they would probably cause some trouble for your gunners. Could you get the Cinder up there to take him out?
My Cinder, so I'm planning on using the Cinder as, like, once I get the city down to a certain amount of health, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna bring those guys in there to finish the job.
I want your robots to attack those other things.
You gunners are...
You got plenty of robots coming down the way.
Yeah.
I want those robots to attack that combat rover.
Okay, we'll do it.
If it can. Oh, you did next turn.
Well,
I don't
because they're
know.
out of moves.
No, but the ones down there by the city. Those ones. Oh well. Oh
Shit.
Taking some shots at your gunners.
Fine,
Is
I'll
the rover
probably...
gonna come across the river?
I might... Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, the rover's just gonna
these guys
straight
are
up
piecing
leave.
out.
They're like,
All right, that's
oh
fine.
god. Oh, we gotta get out of here, guys. Have your gunners bombard? Oh, what are those Marines doing out there?
These Marines, yeah, I forgot. I have these guys on alert. So I'm going to bring them in just as cannon fire, just to try to draw the attention instead of them killing my gunners. And I should probably bring in these Marines as well. You guys, I hope you like my asthma, because you're about to stand in
Listen,
it.
man, war is hell.
War
you guys
is
gotta
hell.
breathe a little alien poison fog. You're gonna suck it up and do it.
Suck it up and do it. That's my general strategy for Civilization and all video games, really.
Just suck it up and do it.
Um,
You can bombard with another gunner, right?
Another gunner?
Yeah, the one that you healed before. Just
Oh, I already did.
You did
that's,
both?
That's, yeah. So I already bombarded with these two.
those guys are just tie. They're real.
These guys
they're
are
real tuckered
dead.
out.
I've got the Cinders coming in. So, okay, here's a question. It's costly, but not that costly.
Do it.
We're going to attack these guys. I want to attack anyway. So that's going to wear them down. So on the next turn, I should be able to reduce their health completely. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to take over this city. This is really not going to be a problem.
They're hurting.
They are on the ropes.
You should use your armor to just chase down those dudes over there.
Total dick.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, they're evacuating. Like, those
Yeah.
gunners are piecing out.
Yeah.
They have abandoned the city. The armies are fleeing. The citizenry is in disarray.
Oh, my artillery is done. So why don't you guys just
Just take your
come
sweet
down this
time
way?
coming down this
Yeah.
way.
Take your time.
Missile trucks.
The war is probably going to be over by the time you get here. Don't worry about it.
So I was telling you, like, trade with stations will give you resources. There are also military stations. I was trading with one, and every time the trade route was completed, I got a new missile rover, which is the predecessor to artillery. So it's not just economic benefit, depending on which stations you set up trades with.
What do I want to build? I'm going to build. I'm out of... So the Cinders, because they're unique units, they require special resources. In this case, it's Phyrexite, a very cheekily named... is that... Phyrexite is not a real thing, right?
No.
They named that after themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they...
I want to make sure it wasn't a real thing,
that's fair.
and the studio was named after it, and now it's just full circle.
No, it's I hosted a panel with them at PAX Prime, and they said they just had used it as a placeholder name for most of development,
and then just kept it?
yeah, and then at some point they're like, All right. No. If we go forward, we are really calling this thing Firaxite. And it's the stuff that you can see right up there, the yellow stuff that looks like a bloomin' onion. That's Firaxite.
I'm gonna go in here.
Good idea. Cross that river.
Cross that river. Okay, so we're gonna try to wear these guys down and then finish the job with either those Marines or this Cinder who's not doing so hot.
There's those Marines too. So you could.
Let's bring. I'm gonna use these as a little buffer to protect my gunners.
You could just attack the city with those Marines. It looks like you're
yeah.
gonna march
This
in.
might actually do it.
I mean, you're gonna take some missiles to the face.
And here we go.
Hail the conquering hero.
I'm going to annex the city. And as you can see, it's mine. However, there is a health penalty for a while because these guys are not super happy that they just got demolished and then annexed.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, can you imagine?
They're part of the great robot dominion now. And yeah, so health is, it's a little bit analogous to happiness. It sort of is something you need to maintain across your civilization. Actually, the more cities you have, the harder it is to maintain that health. So as you can see, Shaun just chose to build a clinic. That's going to help him with some science and some health. But if you mouse over the health, you can see the penalty for having low health in the like -1 to -10 range is -10 science in cities, -10 culture. I think if you get less healthy, then food production takes a hit.
Yeah.
You'll produce as much food as you need to support your population, but not extra, so you won't really grow.
Yeah, health it's definitely a long-term concern.
Yeah.
For our purposes, it's not really something we have to worry about on a live stream where we're playing on old save files.
Sure, and when we're playing a preview build that is only meant to go to like sort of the mid, not really late game.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I feel like we should probably jump over to your save file now.
Okay.
We've taken over that city. Just to give you guys a little look. So my world is a bit different than Chris's. You'll notice that when we pull open his save file in a minute. I chose the kind of continuous Protean continent where the layout is basically you have one giant
Pangea?
Pangea.
Is that the P
well,
word?
Protean is the whatever term they used in the selection, but it's
in
essentially
terms of like what the
yeah.
flora and fauna is like.
But yeah, it's analogous to Pangea. So basically, it's one big continuous continent. These are some of the other factions around here, and then you'll find just tiny little islands. When you go out exploring, you'll also find krakens who are going to kill the shit out of you,
Yes,
like instantly.
You will. They're bad news.
So that's my world, but Chris's, you can load that up.
So sort by, let's see, sort by name. Kozlov. Why don't we go to?
Here, why don't you take this? I'll take the laptop.
We're gonna do a little traderoo.
Little swap-a-rooney
with the control situation. I'm gonna go ahead and load General Vadim Kozlov. Let's do this war, also war imminent. And we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna move this table a little bit, or no, scooch.
Please.
So yeah, the affinities, so Shaun was in the supremacy affinity, so now you're gonna see the harmony affinity, which instead of sort of this first supremacy specific unit was the Cinder, that robot soldier. The first harmony specific unit is these guys, the Xenoswarm, which is basically a pack of aliens and then some foot soldiers with them. They're just like rolling together in a happy crew.
Real quick, Ares42 had an interface question. He was wondering what the little plus icon is to the left of the bottom right icon.
Okay, so this is trade route overview. I can see I've got trades going from my capital to other cities, go to Bennu to some minor powers. It shows you like how many turns in your trade cycle and what you're getting out of the trade. And then you've also got technology web, the notification log, military overview, which just shows me a list of all my units really. So it's not just my military units, my cruisers, my Xenoswarms and stuff. It's also all my trade convoys. It's my workers. And even my orbital units, my solar collector. So guess, and I'm not sure what this supply is here, right? Because base supply, cities, population, this somehow adds up to the total like units you can supply, maybe without taking a penalty to energy. I'm exceeding it, so my supply is -1. So maybe that's why I'm losing 51 energy per turn, which is a lot. So yeah, I'm spending 140 on unit maintenance. I don't have 140.
Holy shit! You're at -51 energy.
Yeah, I don't.
Per turn.
Look, I don't have.
Wow. Wow! What did you do wrong?
I don't know. I don't have 140 units, so obviously there's some kind of multiplier involved of the costs of units, like a Xenoswarm. I don't know how much they cost per turn. It doesn't really clarify that. But, you know, that's my energy situation. It's bad. So how am I managing the energy situation, you ask? Through covert ops. So it's all just happens in this menu. And basically I've got agents out. I'm siphoning energy from the African something guys. These guys.
Nice.
African Union.
Nice, Chris.
From Samatar Jamabare. We're friends. We're trading, but I'm siphoning energy from him.
Okay.
I'm stealing technology. We're gonna see how all that works out next time. Actually, I have to choose. So I can choose an operation. Basically, you can assign a spy to a city. Every city has intrigue levels. My city actually has 1 intrigue, which is not cool with me. But as the intrigue level goes up, it's going to alter what you can and cannot do. So, for example, when you first go to a city, you establish a network. It gives you information about the city so that you can click on it and see stuff like what they're researching, what they're producing, what their health is like, what their yield is like, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can siphon energy, which is to steal energy, siphon science, steal technology, recruit defectors, which recruits a random military unit that just placed near your capital, hack satellites, the deorbit satellites within 5 hexes of the city, which can be a good offensive maneuver or just help like cripple their economy a little bit. Coup d'etat, which you just claim the control of the city if it's successful. Dirty bomb, you detonate a nuclear device in the city, reducing the population by half. That is mean as hell, and only purity. Notice that only a purity score of affinity of 11 can make that happen. So what's my equivalent? Call Worm Strike, which basically means I put one of those thumpers in the city, and a siege worm comes to mess that place up. The supremacy version is sabotage, which just straight pillages all improvements within 3 tiles of the city, which, when you get to your city's pretty big, is pretty mean. So
you can do some pretty mean shit.
I'm gonna recruit defectors. I haven't actually done that. We're not gonna see that come to yield. Unfortunately.
It's funny, like the covert ops thing is not something that I really concern myself with because like I was so gung-ho about just focusing on my robotics upgrades and getting to that victory state that I was like a total isolationist faction.
Yeah.
Up until the point that I wasn't and started going after the PAC.
Murdering people.
So I actually kept my spies at home just to defend my cities. I never actually sent them out on covert ops missions.
So this is my area. You can start to see how mine look a little different. They're starting to get these buildings that look a little bit green, a little bit more curved edges. Shaun's were a little bit more sort of black monolithic with a little orange flare. That's one of the ways that civilizations take on a different look depending on your affinity situation. This is a wonder that I built. I think it's let's go down my capital city. No, go to the city, please. It's the Panopticon, which gives me +1 culture and all military units receive +1 sight. So this is what the city screen looks like, pretty familiar. It shows you what kind of energy output you have, where your citizens are working. You can see, I've got a lot of specialist slots right away. Not a whole lot of people work in the specialist game yet. But you can, use this to focus on culture or production or food or energy or science. Then, of course, you've got your production thing here, and you've got your purchase list here. I do have a tac jet in this city, or it's a needle jet now.
Oh, yeah, that's the next stage up from the tac jet.
You guys can't actually see it do anything, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going to rebase it so that
so you can see it
just
quickly fly from one city to the next.
Let's see.
Oh, there that was it. That was the needle jet.
Now I have a trade convoy. These things, their turns expire, and so, you know, you pick. I don't have a lot of options here, so I'm just going to go with Uzpek. My boy's Uzpek.
Uzbek.
Quick. Oh, gosh, all right. Yeah, you go ahead to Krabost. Set those going. Apparently, a lot of my trade routes are up. See, and then, like, this is not really an optimal trade. It's +3, and it's like helping my internal development, but I'd really like to send it somewhere else. But the only other city on the continent is Ashraya, which I have just declared war on and I'm moving in on. There's also a happy coincidence that there are aliens kind of messing with them at the same time, so it's gonna be a little tricky. But let me just zoom out and show you guys the world for a sec. It's doing that weird thing where it's a little weird bug where there's some black on the tiles. But so one of the perks I took when I first landed was to see all the edges of continents. So
Okay.
I could see that I was on a continent this size. I could see where this strait was. I could see this continent. I could see these tiny little islands. Like here, there's one. There are some down over here. And so that really helped my exploring game. So I had a bunch of explorers out. This continent's almost entirely unsettled, and I actually have an explorer going here to check out this ancient tomb. But exploring is a real good tactic to undertake right from the get-go. So I'm gonna move some Xenoswarm guys in to enemy territory. These gunboats are just basically there to be cannon fodder because they go down in one shot from the city. So I'm not eager to move them in. But
They're not super sturdy.
I do want to have my Xenoswarm move in. I do have artillery. I parked them out on the sea so that I could move here because this was the forest that I bombarded from earlier, and I couldn't bombard because of the frickin' forest. So this again, I'm a slave to terrain, but instead of miasma giving me problems, it's this narrow crack between these crazy canyons, giving me just this little narrow way to go up and mess with these guys. I declared war. Okay, so actually, I declared war, and this person's cities, there's one on my continent, and there's 2 over here. And I feel like I want to hedge my bets when it comes to war. Like, I don't want to be the only enemy in the game. So we check out the diplomacy situation. And the thing to note here, it shows you, the relative score, who's beating me. Oh, sweet. I'm declaring war on the person who's beating me. I didn't even know that. It shows you the affinity sort of alliance that all the other civs have, gives you an update on what kind of wonders they have, tells you that you have a mutually beneficial trade route, you have no conflicting territorial claims, they believe you are a warmonger, so it gives you sort of a clear kind of breakdown of where your relationship is at. But with Dao Ming Sochua, earlier I gave her some titanium in exchange for a favor. So we're going to call in that favor so that you make an alliance with us, and that will make them. Actually, do I even need to spend in a favor? Do you want to have an alliance? Ha! I don't even need to spend the favor.
Why not?
All right, so now they're gonna declare war on Kavyatha Thakor. So they're declaring war on them now, and they're over here. So hopefully that will mess with them a little bit, and I'll get them. I can city bombard this worker. I would love for this worker to land so I could steal them, but I will just send them to the Briny Deep instead. Oh, what? My city bombardment game is hella weak.
Yeah.
That was lame.
Not great.
All right, let's see. Let's move these guys around a little bit. Who needs orders? Okay, so I've got this guy over here. Actually, I just made this cruiser because my other one got killed by a friggin' kraken. This is a kraken, by the way. It's like a floating mountain, and
You'll notice when it attacks you, it's got big tentacles and a big old mouth.
I'm just gonna mess with this thing.
Yeah, go for it. There's no way that could possibly end poorly.
I'm gonna shoot it, and it's gonna be like, I'm unperturbed by that. So we'll see what happens next turn once the kraken gets cranky. Ashraya, I'm coming for you. So I wanted to make a move on this city, A, because I had kind of reached the same point Shaun did, which was like, all right, let's make something happen here. We're not playing the long game. But also, all right, I'm getting bombarded. My artillery. Oh, double artillery bombardment. No. Still alive. Still alive. Oh, the bugs are going away. Oh, sweet. So I didn't notice that before, but apparently, it just gave me the message I plundered 100 energy from a trade convoy, so now I have a lot more energy for that reason, but I also have more energy because I siphoned 658 energy from the African Union, and they're none the wiser. So if I'm losing 50 per turn, and it takes 20 turns to siphon energy, I don't know, kind of breaking even, not quite in that case. I stole the technology mechatronics from the civ that you chose. So now we're gonna go ahead and, I don't know, steal another technology. And you siphon more energy. And you're recruiting defectors. Awesome. The powers of espionage. So my culture is flourishing. I can now choose a new virtue. Since I'm at war, I might be tempted to go with military one, but the only two I can choose aren't really anti-city. So I'm gonna look at my bonuses. Like, I've got a synergy bonus waiting for me, plus 10 production on energy and whatnot. That could be helpful, and I've also got a bonus here, plus 10% energy if I choose one more. So if I choose one from here, I'm gonna get those bonuses. 15% production towards wonders, 5 energy in the capital, sure. Let's see what this does to my drastic energy bad situation. Now I'm only at negative 28 instead of negative 50.
You're still in a real
so
shithole of energy.
I moved the needle.
Your energy situation is a bag of garbage.
It is pretty
bad. I really am startled to see it went that poorly for you.
I was startled too. I don't know how to manage my energy situation. I feel like I have way too many, like, I don't know, units or something, or buildings. Anyways, I'm gonna build a Xeno nursery because I got my Xeno mass improvement.
Were you, so when you were, building, what are the little items called, like the farms and stuff, like improvements to the land?
Tile improvements, yeah.
When you were doing tile improvements, did you build many generators? You've got a few.
I think that I have my workers automated, and I don't have them set to not change, so they might be like...
Maybe your workers are the ones who screwed you over, because I did that all manually, and I made sure to pepper in plenty of generators.
Maybe they are. It looks like they might be plowing under these farms and making generators because my situation is so dire. I have a quest decision that came up. This is the same observatory one that Shaun had, so +2 city strength or +2 naval unit. We'll go for naval movement. We already handled the tech stealing, although mechatronics. What is mechatronics? So, first person.
Mechatronics.
What did I just steal?
Mechatronics is the name of my upcoming rap album.
Mechatronics?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So it allows me to build something that I can't because it's a purity thing. This optical surgery gives me some health. Nope, that's a silica. That's a supremacy thing. And plus 25% production for wonders if I build a crawler. What the hell is a crawler? So then, of course, you can read all this stuff. And so, of course, they have the history of all this stuff, what a crawler is. But then also, they make up quotes, which are kind of fun. Like, this is John Henry smiled at the crawler, and he said, "Sure, you can move a lot of dirt. Let's see who gets to the Mohorovičić discontinuity first." And he picked up his shovel and waited for the starting gun. So that's like... Imagine that, you know, the cultural myths. John Henry is an American sort of folk hero who famously fought against a steam drill or something and to see who was faster, man or machine. And he won, but he died.
Yep.
So here's my Kraken friend, who I'm...
Let him kill you.
I mean, he's going to kill me.
A little exercise.
I'm going to ranged attack him. I'm not going to get killed. Or I'm not going to kill it, so...
You're really taking advantage of the range on that gunboat by putting yourself in the tile immediately next to him.
Look, man, this is live stream strategy level right now. Oh, worker, are you going to land so I can steal you? I'm just going to let that worker land so I can steal it. All right. Artillery has to set up for a ranged attack. That takes one of its movement points. And then we're going to go ahead and missile bombard these guys. Eat it. And then the Xenoswarm is going to go to work! Don't remind me again. Okay, they died a lot. But they did 21 damage. So it's happening. Oh, we got another Xenoswarm here. Where are you going? Here. A unit needs orders. Cruiser. You could. I think the cruiser can ranged attack the city. So why not? A little offshore bombardment. Heyo, eat it. And you're just gonna chill. And we're gonna go to the next turn. See what Asraya has in store for us. It's thirsty work.
It's
getting blown up in the oil fields of war.
So at first I was like, holy shit, look at all these.
Oh, damn. Look, the aliens just moved in. They are
what?
getting cheeky as hell. So you can tell the alien. Sorry, you can. What happened here?
I think maybe you got killed by the Kraken?
Why is my.
What is this cruiser from?
No, this is my cruiser. Oh, it's just the Kraken is just moving on my city.
Oh, great.
Hey, no, come back over here. I think this is my trade vessel. So my trade vessel can get Krakened. Come back over here, you jerk. Actually, I might just try to kill this Kraken.
Go for it.
All right, now my explorer is over here. Gonna construct an expedition on this ancient tomb and replace the ancient tomb resource. Sorry, what were you saying, Shaun?
Oh, I was just saying it was interesting because I looked at your troops and I was like, oh shit, when did these aliens show up? And then I realized that those are my dudes. Those are your dudes, because in between those aliens are
you can see
soldiers.
There's a soldier here.
Yeah.
But the wolf beetles are totally the alien faction. These manticores, these scorpions are aliens that you can encounter. They are hostile. I don't think I can build alien drones.
That's neat because for me, like, the aliens were just a means to an end. Like, they were an infestation that I had to clear out. I mean, I didn't have to clear them out because I wasn't doing like the full purity thing where I'm just demolishing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, the aliens were just more of a nuisance. But
Get 'em.
obviously for you,
They are a nuisance, though. Like, they are like a pretty substantial problem. These guys might die. Oh no, but I've got veterancy, so we're gonna recover some HP.
There you go, heal up.
And throw yourselves upon this city. It will be ours. All right, cruiser. Do you want to? Because I don't think I think I can only ranged attack these workers. I can't capture them with the cruiser, which is kind of a bummer. Because I like to capture workers. Yep, my artillery was killed. I get it. You're going to also bombard the city. Hey, why not?
The city is boned.
They're pretty boned.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. They're kind of burned and on mildly charred. Yeah, so next turn. Next turn, you will be mine. Let's see what this Kraken does, actually. So you can see that this logo is normally green, but it gets yellower and then red depending on the alien's general aggression level.
Yeah.
So that's why these aliens are so aggressive and coming up on this city and causing them problems. See, now they've got their ranged manticores coming in. The aliens are pissed, and I'm not exactly sure why. But we're gonna try to maybe because I've been shooting the Kraken.
Probably because you've been shooting the Kraken.
It's probably because of the Kraken shooting I've been doing. I'm trying to chase it away from my shipping lanes / kill it.
Do you think?
I really
if you
wanted
kill
to
this Kraken with that gunboat, I'm gonna be really impressed.
Thank you, Shaun.
I don't think you're gonna do it because eventually that Kraken is gonna be like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna stroll over and kill you.
So you can see this trade route is a little bit lucrative in a different way when you do it to a station. It's only food and production that I'm trading among my own empire, but I'm also getting energy and culture from trading with this station. So definitely, if there are stations nearby you can trade with, keeping those trades up can be very beneficial. Although, you might also just be really losing a lot of money. Like me. Oh God. Die from aliens. Oh, Xenoswarm, you didn't do it? All right, you're gonna finish them up. Mop them up, boys and beasts. Yeah, all right. So annexing, Shaun just went ahead and did that right away. It makes it a city in your colony, full-fledged. but you can also create a puppet state. It will, so you get all the energy, science, and culture from it, but you can't choose what it produces or customize it. So, or you could
also raise it.
Raise the city.
I mean,
It decreases my health by 18, but then the negative health shrinks by 1 each turn. Nice. I'm gonna make this a puppet city because I've never done that before.
delightful. I just annex every time. I don't know why.
Well, so that's the thing, right? And I guess let's sort of, as we wind the stream down, let's talk about sort of lessons that so every Civ game you play, you learn lessons from it. Like each round, you figure new stuff out, you figure different stuff out, and of course, because we're playing this, because we're playing this for the first time, it's we're learning a lot. So one of the things I've learned is like maybe expending a lot, maybe building a lot of cities, like how these cities are kind of close to each other might not be a great idea. Like you can, like this city is reaching 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away from the center. So they can be really big. However, I did want access to this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the closer they are, the more they're competing for those resources, and the less you can expand outward. But at the same time, having your cities close together means you can send troops or units from one city to the other more quickly. If you want to link them via roads, it's less of a process, and the shorter the roads, the less energy maintenance cost. So
that's true.
There's certainly pros and cons there.
There's an intruder in our territory. Those are just aliens. Another thing that I'm grappling with is wondering, like, about my whole trade situation. I have so many trade units. Oh yeah, Kraken attack.
And you're dead. You got pretty close to beating that Kraken.
I was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I like the trade vessels just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Nope.
I like the idea of just like all those traders like looking off the our port side being like, holy crap, did you see that? That mountain just sunk our boat. We gotta get out of here. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting perspective to play a Civ when you are like not targeting the end game, but kind of fun to mess around. I mean, I guess what would I do? Like, I could expand to this whole new continent, but is that worth this sort of energy expenditure of creating new cities and the health? Because my cities get pretty unhealthy in the next couple turns.
Yeah.
Because I also annexed, and so like, it's just sort of trying to figure out the new ways that these systems go together. So you and I did. So actually, any sort of takeaways from you and stuff that's intrigued you or problems you ran into that you'll tackle differently next time?
I feel like I got a kind of a lucky roll of the dice because I was never antagonized by any of the other factions, so I could kind of like take my time, build up my troops, focus on amassing a pretty sizable army before I went after the Pan-Asian Cooperative. I feel like most times I'm not going to have that level of peace and quiet, and I'm probably going to get provoked a little bit more often.
Yeah, people might be up in your face a little bit more.
Yeah, so I don't know. One thing that looking back, I wish watching your stream now is that I kind of played it really safe with my spies in terms of like covert potential. I feel like if I had actually sent them out, like taken the time to look at the opportunities that existed by sending them out to other cities, there's some cool stuff I could have done.
Oh, dude, I'd robbled the hell out of all those people. And sometimes they're not detected, sometimes they are, and the intrigue level rises. So I'm not sure, like, I feel like being very cavalier with spies might get me in trouble eventually, but certainly at this point in the game, yeah, it was a big benefit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's probably the big takeaways for me.
Cool.
It's funny, like I was focusing so much on getting that supremacy victory, and then turn 200 rolled around, and I was like, maybe I should do something else.
Maybe I should just go mess with somebody.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so folks, that's Civilization Beyond Earth. What is the release date on this thing?
Just October
24th. So about a month from now, the game's coming out. We have a preview going up later today, probably. Shaun and I talking more about our experiences, showing a little bit more in-depth footage of different stuff we encountered, and sort of talking a bit about the affinities and the tech web and, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that. And that's about it. That's it?
That's it.
Cool. Alien life forms rule, robots drool. Thanks for watching, folks.
Not true.
Catch you next time.